viewers as being a doctor and yet making the time for community services, for Islam, for the community at large. So maybe I may want to ask you, what motivates you, and what is that driving point that encourages you to get involved with the Islamic Center of Miami and whatever other Islamic activities?
So, you know, Sheikh, I was to say that what really motivates me is, you know, ever since I was a child growing up, and my parents, and inculcating that level of serving others and helping others, and the Islamic kind of activities I was involved in from a young age, and a lot of volunteer activities, going to a lot of, you know, programs to increase my Islamic knowledge, and and as well as, you know, serving in the community, you know, feeding the homeless, and helping in other capacities in regards and other types of activities, you know, of serving others and helping others. So I would say that that really was the foundation, right? As growing up as a young child.
So maybe I may have to cut you here. If you say as a young person, growing up, it means that that would have something to do with your parents.
Yes, absolutely.
You see what I'm
Yes.
thinking here?
Yes.
Because you went right back to growing up as a young boy.
Yes.
And that motivation would have stemmed out of your parents' deeds and activities that you are an offspring of.
That's absolutely.
So your parents, tell us a
absolutely.
little bit of your parents. Listen, well then if that's the case,
Absolutely.
then your parents are the root of this now.
Yeah, no,
So,
I
so
mean-
tell us what your father was, what he did, your mother. That will be very motivational to our
Sure,
parents out there, because if parents don't do things, they may not necessarily produce that kind of offspring. So our parents and viewers of this program will know, if you want your children to be doctors and lawyers and yet community leaders in the deen, serving the communities, then parents need to demonstrate and exemplify that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your parents.
Absolutely. No, my mother was a teacher. She was
Yeah.
a Montessori school teacher for you know, 30 years.
Subhanallah.
And my father is a businessman, you know, who owned different businesses and throughout, you know, while over the last, you know, 30 years as well. But what I would say is that my parents always put this, you know, focus on, you know, Islam and, you know, service and education, of course, and making sure that I was always very balanced in these three aspects, you know, in learning my deen, you know, studying my deen as from a young age, being serving others and helping others, and being very always concentrating and focusing on my education to help me along, to make sure that I could, you know, be the best at whatever I decided to pursue and whatever I decided to do in Islam and in whatever field I decided to pursue, you know, as far as in this case, you know, medicine and being a physician. But of course, service was a big component of that. So my parents, whatever time they had, free time, they had, obviously having other siblings, they had other responsibilities to their own families, and I mean to their own, you know, to their parents and to their community as well. But
Yeah.
of course their focus was on the children and all of us, to make sure that they raised us the best they could and showed us the way, and showed us led us with the right example and the way to be successful. So my mom always taking me whenever she could to Islamic activities, to Muslim Youth of North America, you know, a weekend camp or summer program, or whenever a scholar was in town, and taking me to that to learn from that scholar, or any programs with other youth that were, you know, of service to others, or to, you know, or learning about our deen, you know, and always on top of us for our education as well. So, and my father as well, you know, and for that to happen, they had to balance their time, and they had to maybe sacrifice, of course, some other things they may have wanted to do in order to give us that ability to be involved and to show us that this is what, you know, is very important for us growing up.